In this quick video guide, we're going to talk about masks in Blender and how we can use it, why we should use it. And so this is something that concerns the sculpting part. And if you're interested, you can check the character design course in the channel and also the Blender basic video course. So I'm going to move into the sculpt mode from object mode. And this is where we can start to play around with sculpting and painting and with the masks. So masks are right here, so you can find all the different options. And also if we expand this, you'll find the brushes here. So you have a mask brush right here, and then you have some additional tools right here. So you have box mask, lasso mask, and line mask. Now, first of all, let's switch into Dyn Topo so we can start to sculpt on this cube a little bit and increase the number of details. So to increase it even more, we're going to decrease here the detail size from 12 to 5 if we are using relative detail. So you can see now we have more polygons to work with. And so this is already becoming like a more organic cube instead of the first one that is like more rigid and more kind of mechanic. Now this is more um, organic, and it's good for sculpting and painting. So there you go. We have something to work on. We have this cube, and now we can start to use the mask. So let's start with the tools that we have in the toolbar right here. So I'm going to start with the mask brush right here, and I can just click and drag, and this is going to create this gray yellow, this gray paint, which is not really a paint, this is masking. So the gray area will be the masked area, and that area will be preserved from any change. So you can paint on this object now, you can sculpt, that area will not be affected. Now you can change also the radius, the strength of the brush, and we're gonna see you can make other changings. Now, what we can do is test the mask with the painting. So if I select the paintbrush, and now, okay, we need to switch off the Dyn Topo, otherwise it won't work. So I'm gonna click and drag. You can see it's painting black. So if I deactivate the mask, and to do this, I'm gonna go to Mask and say Clear Mask, or Alt M for the shortcut. So you can see now it only painted where I didn't have the mask. So the mask protected my my object from being painted. Now, if I use this a sculpting tool, let's use the standard here, the standard draw. Let's increase the strength, decrease the radius a little bit. I'm gonna click and drag. So you can see that right now I'm only painting in the areas that have not been masked. So the mask is also protecting the object from being sculpted. So these are the two main features that we can use with the mask. So we can protect from painting, we can protect from sculpting, but also we have other uses. Now, before we see those, let me see some other options for the mask. So I'm gonna go back. So we can go here and invert the mask, Control E, Control I, and then we can fill the object with the mask, or we can clear, just as we did previously. We can use a box mask like this, and we can also do a lasso mask. So we can create a mask with the lasso. Let's go back and let's try with some other tools here. Now, you can also expand a mask by topology. So this means that it's gonna take into consideration the structure of your object. So you can see I can click and drag, and this is gonna expand the mask. And also I can change the smoothness of the borders. So I can increase the smoothness. I can do this sharper, and I can sharpen the mask. I can grow the mask, make it bigger, and shrink the mask, make it smaller, and increase the contrast. So it means that it's gonna be more effective and diverse from the rest of the object. And we can also do mask extract. Now, to do mask extract, you need to have Dyn Topo turned off. Now, there are also other options here and features, but you can check them yourself. They're really easy. And so mask extract, this is gonna extract a mesh from the original object. So if I say OK, you can see this is the added mesh right here. So if I click and drag, you can see I have an extra part that now I can use as a separate object, which is pretty handy. And if I want to create more parts, now let's go back to the object, let's go back to the mask. And also you can expand mask by normals. So it means that it's gonna take the normals that we have into consideration. And we can also do a mask slice. So it means that it's gonna take off that part and create a hole into the object. So basically creating a surface now is not more a solid until I fill that gap again. But I can also use another option here, which is mask slice and fill holes. So it's gonna automatically fill the holes. Now you can see it doesn't have the same quality of the rest, but I can still use the dynamic topology. So I can go to the mask and do clear mask, go back to dynamic topology, and then paint on this part. Or if I don't want to sculpt here, I can just use the simplify brush to increase the number of polygons, and then use the smooth to smooth it out and leave that like flat surface. Again, let's use some of the tools right here. So you also have the line mask. If you click and drag, it's going to create a line, and everything behind above that line and it's going to be it's going to be non-masked, and below is going to be masked. And then of course I can use it as a slice, and before doing that I can perhaps smooth the mask a little bit or make it sharper. And you can see I cannot use this, so I need to switch off the Dyn Topo first. So I'm going to go to draw, turn Dyn Topo off, and now I can go back here and slice. Now I can also slice to new objects. So if I do this, it's gonna slice, and also you can see create a new object, which is another interesting feature if I want to use the mask. And let me just go here, and you can see we need some extra polygons also in there, and we can do that with a simplify brush as well. And then we can work a little bit also with the mask from cavity, which means that it's gonna mask everything that it's like occluded by light, which is like carved inside the object. So for example, if I want to paint on this, let's invert. So I'm gonna go to invert mask, and then I'm gonna use the paint, and we can start painting here with kind of a gray color. So if I paint, I'm only gonna paint on that. So it's gonna create like you know, something that could be a dirt part. And I can also adjust a little bit the smoothness of the mask. Now let's clear the mask. So you can see I only painted where the cavity are. So I can also use this to increase the ambient occlusion effect and the cavity. And again, if you're interested, a lot of this is explained in the 3D character design video course. And then we have random mask per vertices, so kind of a noise effect on the surface. And then we have using the face set, but we're going to talk about face set in another video. Right now we don't have face sets. And then loose parts, if we is going to paint out the loose parts. So if your object is composed by parts that are not where they are separated, it's going to fill that part where you are painting on the moment. Now one last thing I want to show you, if I use the mask again, so let's go to the mask brush. Don't mistake that with the paintbrush. So if I paint right here, I can use, let's invert again. I can use another feature, which is the mesh filter. So I can use the mesh filter only in here. So I can like inflate, like extrude only that part, or I can scale only that part, or I can like create a noise, like with the random, you can create a noise only in that part of the object. So with the mesh filter, usually you work on the whole object, but with the mask, you are able to work only on one part. So this will be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to thank us, if you want to support us, please join the channel as a supporter. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.